Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slam's Fist Fact, episode 9. I'm here. I'm Brandon. I'm with the Lilo to my Stitch, the Miss Piggy to my Kermit, and the Dory to my Marlin, my co-host Rick. Hey, Rick.
I love how I'm the female in all of
Ah, you caught
those.
on to what I was doing with that one. It's okay. They're all the main characters. Actually, none of them are. Dory's the main
Dory gets her
character.
own movie,
Yeah, Dory's the main character in Finding Nemo for sure.
and Lilo is definitely the main character of Lilo and Stitch.
Stitch is 100% the main character. He makes
False.
himself the main character.
Write us. We're gonna put a poll out. Who's the main character of Lilo and Stitch?
Stitch, dude. Everything you see, you don't go to Disney World and meet Lilo, you meet Stitch.
You meet Lilo as well.
Nah, I was just there. You don't.
Sorry, you went to the wrong line. You went to
No.
the Deuteragonist.
Main character line?
The Deuteragonist line.
Main character line. Lilo's the main character. Can't argue that Kermit's not the main character in The Muppets. So.
Yeah, I mean that one's not arguable, but 2 out of 3, I win.
Yeah. All annoying, too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lilo,
I
Miss
probably have
Piggy,
close to
and
the
Dory.
same attention span as Dory, so it works.
Same. And remembering things. Especially when it comes to my wife telling me to remember something. I have the mindset of Dory when it comes to that.
That's valid.
If I don't get reminded every 10 seconds, it's done. It's gone.
My wife's still reminding me that she needs to be a guest on the podcast.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
We'll do it soon. We've only had one guest. We haven't had a guest. We've only had a co-host.
A specialty co-host because I was unavailable.
Specialty
Appreciate you
co-host
for filling in, Dalt.
over Christmas. So we've had no guests. So if somebody wants to be our first guest, and we've had one co-host so far. So if anybody wants to co-host again when Rick can't do this, because it'd be hard for Rick to film it when he doesn't have the filming stuff.
That would make it pretty difficult.
But it'll be okay. But it's been a while. We did our Christmas episode, and then we've been super busy. So now we're back with episode 9 come the end of January. We will start posting more than one podcast a month again starting this week, hopefully. But let's move right into it. Drinks of the week, Rick. What are you drinking? I don't even think you told me after I guessed.
Nope.
Okay.
A beverage near and dear to both Brandon and I's heart.
How is it not
The
Jameson?
excellent. The excellent. That's really near and dear to our heart. That might be part of our bloodstream at this point. But no, this is the wonderful Italian Peroni.
Mm. Peroni.
Cheers, buddy.
That's awesome. Cheers. Damn, I didn't think of that. I was definitely thinking liquor because you usually do liquor if we record on the weekends, which we're recording on a weekend right now. So, dang. So I'm drinking in a giant glass because I don't have a pitcher in my house, which is a side note I'll talk about in a second. But I'm drinking Tropical Lightning from my kegerator. And then, so I didn't have to leave during the middle of the podcast. I filled up 2 Stanley Cups full of beer to keep the beer cold that I could pour into the glass that I'm drinking the beer out of. We're professional drinkers over here. Some people call it alcoholics, but we're just being innovative over here. But I go downstairs and I'm filling this up, this glass. For everybody that's watching or not watching this listening, it's a big 32-ounce beer glass. And I was like, all right, I want to get a pitcher so I don't have to leave. And I realized we don't have a pitcher. The only pitcher that we have in the house is like this crystal glass pitcher from Amy's grandma, which I do not trust myself to bring into this room while I'm drinking. So I'm going to Walmart tomorrow to buy a pitcher because that way I can have it for beer and then I can make sweet tea in it every now and then too.
I was about to say sweet tea, Kool-Aid, none of it.
I just don't make any of that at home. I just usually drink water. And I haven't been on a beer kick. I just now started drinking again, which is lovely for everybody that, but we'll talk about later. But yeah, so thanks to Drinks of the Week brought to you by our friend Mac, who still listens to this and gave us this idea forever ago.
Who is recently engaged. Congratulations, Mac, if you are listening.
Yes, congrats. That's awesome. For her and for our other good buddy, Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that.
into, what'd you say?
I didn't see that they just got engaged.
They did. And shout out to Turbo for putting the bar stupidly high.
What did he
He
do?
handcrafted her ring.
All right. Well, nothing can get better than that.
Yeah, way to put the bar too high,
I
buddy.
thought I
Thanks.
thought I set the bar high by proposing in a different country. Well,
I know, right? I
that's a
did it
whole.
mid Whitewater, but I didn't craft the ring myself.
Damn it, Rick! We got to learn how to be blacksmiths. New side
Clearly.
quest for the year. 2025 was deemed to me by our buddy Dalton the year of Brandon's side quests because I have sent our group so many different Snapchats of random crap that I've been doing this year and a little bit of last year, I guess, post Christmas of when we've last done. But we'll get into that. But new segment that I have that Rick has to guess. We're keeping track of, we're not really keeping track, but Rick's 0 for 1 on this so far because we
We're
don't
not
didn't want
keeping
to.
track, but here's the score.
Yeah, here's the score. Rick is 0 for 1 on quotes.
I had a good guess. Thank you
Just
very
dropped my
much.
fucking pen. Anyway, thankfully I'm at my desk, so I have multiple right here at me, just changing colors. Same pen, different color. Quote of the weeks. The quote last week was "I'm sexy as shit, minus about 30 pounds." Rick guessed Dalton, and it was from my brother Ryan. I actually had a quote of the week with Dalton that was Rick's quote. That he sent to John was "Bait so dumb it works," and I gave Dalton a half a point because he guessed John, and John was the one that received the quote, so I gave him a half a point for that, which was pretty good. But this one, and you got to think, Rick, these quotes could be from when we last recorded to now, so it's a while. But to give the listeners the lowdown, it is somebody either in mine or Rick's friend group or somebody that we know really well that's like right outside the friend group, like how the first quote was from my brother. Rick knows him well enough to know that he can say stupid shit.
Yep, that's valid.
All right. This one says, make him go over the hole so he doesn't go in it.
Make him go over the hole
So he doesn't go in
so
it.
he doesn't go in it.
This was said to me because that's what
Uh-huh.
like 90% of these quotes are going to be is said to me or a quote that I hear. Make him go over the hole so he doesn't go in it.
I'm going to put an amendment to this game. I think I should get 2 guesses.
You can guess as many times as you want, but only the first one counts.
We're going to go with Brandon Pickle.
That is wrong, and I want to hear your thought process of why you think it was pickle.
Because Brandon and his family members, some of his family members just went on a camping trip. And I'm just imagining Pickle telling Brandon to guide someone over a hole so like they didn't get stuck in it or something.
Oh, like we're like drunkenly falling so they don't.
Yes.
That's a good thought process. I like that.
Okay, second guess is Tommy golfing scenario.
No, I haven't played golf with Tommy this year so far, so no. So this was you're on the right track of being drunk, right? I wasn't drunk. Everybody else was. It was said by my brother Alex to me while we were playing cornhole at Christmas.
I didn't even think of cornhole.
He wanted me to try to block the hole so I would make the other person go over it. But instead of saying, "Hey, block the hole," he just goes, "Make him go over the hole so he can't go in." Like I'm going to guide the other teammates' throw, right?
Just foul him.
Yeah, just foul him while he's throwing in cornhole. That was a good guess. I like the thought process behind it being pickle. But Rick is 0 for 2 on the on the
Oh,
guessing of
gee,
the
thanks.
quotes. Of course, we'll just keep it going until Rick hits one. Once Rick hits one, we'll switch to where Rick has to say a quote and I have to guess. That's when we'll switch. So only God knows how long it's going to be before I get to guess a
With
quote.
ridiculously obscure references.
Yeah, yeah. You get no background. You just get the quote and know it's one of probably like 10 people. So, I mean, your odds are at the lowest 10% every time you guess. But with that being said, Rick, what happened this week in history?
um, let's go newest to oldest this episode.
Like, are
So
we going
mine,
to say which ones we have and then I go and you go? Newest to
no, we're
oldest
just
or
both gonna go from our newest, most recent ones to the oldest ones we have.
okay, I'm excited to see how new your newest is.
My newest is in 1913.
All right.
So in 1913, the 16th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified, granting Congress the right to levy income taxes. So fuck them. Uh,
We're apparently getting rid of those.
Worst amendment. No,
Probably.
but the worst one was repealed. So
Yeah, that's true. That it's not an amendment anymore, so
what about you? What's your most recent one?
I'm on the Googling the worst amendment right now, actually.
It has to be the 18th.
What's the 18th?
Prohibition.
Yeah, but that's nullified now, so it's not an amendment
It's
anymore.
still there. It just got repealed by a later amendment.
That's true.
It didn't just hit the backspace button.
I mean, they could have. Oh, this was going to be an amendment. This is cool. 10 weirdest failed amendments in U.S. Constitution. Um, they were going to in 1933. They were going to try to limit wealth to $1 million.
Oh, that'd have been brilliant.
This one's worse. 1861. They were trying to make an amendment to make slavery legal forever.
Oh,
Yeah,
glad that got denied.
same. Oh, number two. They were going to try to outlaw drunkenness, public intoxication. That'd be interesting if that was you could
See,
you
I
could just
could,
be drunk in public.
but see, I could, deal with that one more than I could deal with the prohibition flat out.
Well, no, they were going to outlaw drunkenness. Oh
Yeah,
no,
so you
I
couldn't
read
be
that
drunk in
wrong.
public.
I read that wrong. You can't be drunk in public anyways.
Most places.
Respectfully, like you can be respectful drunk, but not like
Mardi Gras.
yeah, throwing poop on a window type of drunk. Don't ever get that. All right, so newest to oldest, right? Mine
Yes.
is from January 28th, 1986 is the
Okay.
first one. And then I go a little bit further back after that. After sad one, after 73 seconds, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded, killing all the crew members with Krista McAuliffe, the first teacher that was ever going to be in space. It exploded, and for all the people to make it even more sad that think they died on explosion, you were all wrong. They did not. They more than likely died when they hit the ground, which is even sadder. And they figured that out because a lot of them made it to like the escape little pod thing that also ended up exploding or whatever it was. But I don't know how they figured that out, that they died not in the initial explosion, but apparently they didn't. A very sad day. And then we had another space shuttle blow up after that was in our lifetime that I can't remember the name of to save my life. Was it the Odyssey? The Columbia?
I think you're right when you said Odyssey, but I'm not sure.
It was the Columbia. I was right with the second one.
Uh,
2013 or 2003, excuse me. Anyway, what's your next one?
Next on the list would be in 1845. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe was first published by the New York Mirror.
Overrated.
Wow.
Telltale Heart's better.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
not saying the Raven's bad, but the Telltale Heart's better.
Overrated's a bold take, though.
I don't know. A lot of people think that that's his best one, and it's not. Telltale Heart's better.
I can agree with
I
that,
don't read a lot of
but
Edgar Allan Poe, but I've read both of those, and I like Telltale Heart better.
got it. Well, in 1845, this week in history, it was first published by a newspaper that no longer exists.
Nice.
Fun fact: it doesn't exist because of the newspaper strike.
Amendment? Oh,
No, newspaper strike that happened, and it killed off a lot of smaller newspapers and tabloids of the time.
boo.
Found that out through a little googling.
Boo. So now I got a weird one. This is my second oldest of three. So throwing it
Mhm.
back a little bit from 1986, in 1661,
Okay,
a little bit further back,
little farther back.
the Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, known as Oliver Cromwell, who we all know from history class, was ritually executed. What does that mean, you say? Well, funny enough, he died 2 years before that, and they redug up his body and ritually beheaded him.
That's tough.
We are
You
try.
ever upset?
Do not mean to laugh at somebody's death, but that's weird.
You ever question if you wronged people enough? Just ask yourself if they would dig up your body and execute you again.
Yes, it was called ritually executed, but did you pull an Oliver Cromwell to where somebody was so pissed at you that they dug you up and then beheaded you, and then was like, he did.
Okay, so my oldest one is from 1606. Remember, the 5th of November, of gunpowder treason and plot. I know no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes was executed this week in history in 1606 for his attempt of blowing up Parliament in England.
Yep. There was a lot of cool Guy Fawkes stuff when I was in England
I
because
bet
I was around. I was there literally the week of November 5th. It was pretty cool to see. Um, well, my last one date's older than that, which is hilarious. I've got some two oldies, dude. So in 1587, this week, Queen Elizabeth, not the one that just died, just to throw that out there.
could have been.
Queen Elizabeth I signed a death warrant for her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots. Why I wrote that is because they are both clearly dead now. They died a while ago. They're buried beside each other at Westminster Abbey.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, was always buried there. Mary, Queen of Scots, was buried somewhere else when she passed away, which wasn't in 1587. But Elizabeth signed her death warrant then because she planned an assassination against Queen Elizabeth. And she was posthumously, however you say that word, dug
Mhm.
up and put into Westminster Abbey. And they are literally in the same room in above ground tombs, faces facing each other.
People apparently were really down for excavating grave sites back then.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I got two of them in my little fun
This week
facts
in
here.
history.
Yeah, yeah. Two of them were fun facted into that. But I thought that was interesting because I saw both of them in the same room, and I was like, "Oh, Queen Elizabeth I, badass." I walk 3 feet. I go, "Oh, Mary Queen of Scots, badder ass." And then I'm like, I wonder why they're buried beside each other. They fucking hated each other. And then one, they're cousins, and two, the king that dug her up and put her in that room became the king of England, but he was the first king of England from Scotland. So it makes sense that that was like a final like fuck you to Queen
This little
Elizabeth
petty
the
thing.
First. Yeah, like you're gonna get buried right beside the bitch that you fucking hated and tried to kill. And I'm sure
Oh,
there's
that's all I got for this week in history. You got
same.
any more?
No, I'm sure there's way more to that story, but the timeline of England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales's monarchy slash kings, queens is so fucking confusing, and I haven't read the history book on England that I have in my list to read this year, so I don't know enough about it yet to talk more than that was a big fuck you to Queen Elizabeth, which is great. Great in my opinion. No, I don't. So that's all my this week's in history, but we can move on to our topic of a very fun and interesting topic of we're going to catch y'all up on what we've been doing the past month since we've posted together. At least, Rick, what's something you've been up to?
Um, Stayed in Kentucky for the holidays. I know we recorded since I went to Iceland, but that was like kind of our big trip for the year, and so kind of stayed local since.
I feel that.
But the holidays went really well, and just busy, a lot of working, and then I got a surprise from my wife for Christmas to let me know that in April we're gonna go on a cruise.
Yeah,
And
y'all
so
are.
kind of doing some things to prep for that and just kind of being busy with different day-to-day life stuff. But not near as interesting as what you've been up to, Mr. Side Quest himself.
Yes, side
So tell the
quest.
people what you've been up to.
Sure. First, it's just you and Whitney on the cruise?
Oh, and my parents are coming on the cruise. So that was the double part of the
Nice.
surprise was that Whitney coordinated with my parents so they'd booked the same cruise. So it was like a double surprise because I called to tell them about the cruise and they're like, "Oh, this one?" and showed me their
That's
same itinerary.
that's cool. That's funny.
So
That's
it's gonna be
awesome.
super
How
hype.
how when you send the picture, tell everybody how she told you. I think that's the coolest part.
Oh, okay. So she actually she got me this little book that says I wrote a book about you. And so it's all this stuff so that your partner will kind of just show they're thinking about you and different stuff. And one of them it says if I had to get you a t-shirt, it would say and it says we're going on a cruise. And I just read it and then kept going like I flipped the page. I was like, I don't know, that's a weird t-shirt, but all right. And kept going. She's like, go back. Like, you didn't even question that. And I was like, there's still more to the book. I thought I was supposed to just
Yeah, I'm trying to read here. I'm a literacy man.
and so she explained, and then she gave me some other pieces of the gift, like just little stuff that's going to help us on the cruise ship. And it showed me the itinerary and was explaining that this is what she's had in the works for a while. And so I got excited, and we were talking about it, whatever. And I said, let's, I want to tell my folks. And so we FaceTime them and they kind of played into it, right? They're like, oh, that's so cool, blah, blah. What are you doing? All these asking questions, right? And then my dad just pulls out his phone and goes to his app and is like, this one? and shows me the exact same itinerary.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Rick texted me about it, and I knew Whitney got him that for Christmas, and I was like playing dumb because I didn't know if Rick knew that I knew. And so I was like, "Yeah, man, that's so cool of her." Blah blah blah. And Rick's like, "You can stop acting surprised. She told me that you knew that that was going."
It did end up
But
telling me.
that'll be a fun April. That's Rick's side quest for the year. His trip with his parents
hmm
and wife. But yes, I've been up to many a side quests. I was deemed the year of the side quest by our buddy Dalton when I literally send them a picture on a video on a random Wednesday, and I am at an acrobatic show with pirates of people flipping into uh, water and with seals dancing and shit. And Dalton's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey man, year of the side quests." But my big side quest that I committed to is we went to Disney like 2 weeks ago. Had a blast. Went for like 9 days. The first 2 days sucked, But other than that, it was great.
Why
Uh,
did the first 2 days suck,
I
Brandon?
well, I guess first 2.5 days. So for everybody that knew, wasn't drinking since October. That didn't suck. It was nice, felt better. But every now and then, when I was like, "Oh, I need some alcohol," couldn't drink it. Um, Trained for a half marathon, so did the half marathon at Disney on day. I want to. It's day two of us getting down there, but I say day three because the first day we literally got down there at like 9 in the morning, so we still got to go to the parks and all kinds of stuff like that. Um, but it was tough, dude. Like I said in my Instagram post I posted about it, it was like it's definitely the hardest thing that I voluntarily told myself to do. Like it was rough to just give everybody a breakdown of what had happened besides like the training and all of that, which was already tough. Of no drinking, going to the gym. We ran 10 miles the week before we went to Disney because Disney put out a little FAQ about our half marathons. If you can do this time, this many miles, and under this, you'll be able to do the 13. So we did that, and then get there. Day before, we literally go to Epcot, and I eat easily 9,000 pounds of carbs to just prepare myself for the next day. I had pizza, chicken parm, breadsticks. Like, it's going all out to be like, I will not like die of exhaustion on these 13 miles, right? Didn't overdo it, but ate a little bit more than my stomach was like, hey, bro, calm down. What are you doing? What are you doing to me right now? I feel like you're going to be asking that tomorrow around 9 a.m. what I'm doing to you. Um, so to give everybody a setup, my wife and I, we knew we were going to Disney like a year ago. So we wanted to sign up for the Disney 10K. Amy gets on the website. 10K sells out in like 12 fucking seconds. She texted me and Caitlin, the girl that went with us, and was like, hey, 10K sold out. Y'all cool with the half marathon? We both were on a Disney high at the time, and we said, sure, fuck it. Little did I know, the months leading up to that, I was the opposite of fuck it. I was still in the mode of fuck it, just a different type of fuck it, right? And to give you a little aspect of what we did, went to bed early that day around like 9. Woke up at like 2:30 in the morning. Could not go to sleep any earlier than that. My body was just not about it. So we get out to the course around like 3:30. And it's cold. It was cold that whole week in Florida, like highs in the 40s, low 50s. That day when we got out there, it was like 42 degrees. And we're out there at 3:30, walking to our designated area. We were area G. You had A through G, G being the last. All the other areas before that, you had to submit a time. If anybody looks at me, they clearly I don't have a half marathon time before that. Or actually, our friends were running it. We found that out the day of. Some people that Amy and I know, they submitted the time, and their time was so slow that they still got put in the group that we were in. So you want to get there early because you want to get as close to the front of that group as possible because there's these demon women in the back of Group G called the Balloon Ladies. And what they do is they run and they have these big ass Disney balloons tied to their ass. And they run, and if they pass you, you're kicked out of the race because you got to get the hell out of there because Disney still wants to open the parks, which is why I'm running a half marathon at 3:30 in the morning in the first place. But my run doesn't. The half marathon doesn't start till 5. We're out there at 3:30. Get it, and we were still not the first people in that line. We Group G didn't cross the start line till 5:59. That's when my half marathon started. So almost 6 o'clock. To top it all off of it being like 42 degrees out there, it rained the entire time. You know when it stopped raining? When I started the start line. It poured rain from 3:30 to 6 o'clock and stopped about 3 minutes before I started. So I was soaking wet at mile 0, and we had to run through that. But it was horrible. Had two goals: make it to Magic Kingdom and make it back to Epcot. We got to run through the roads, ran through a couple of the nicer Disney resorts, ran through all of Magic Kingdom. Same thing coming back, ran down the road through some different resorts around Epcot, then we were done. Around mile 6.2, which is right where a 10K is, there's a big sign. Each mile marker has a sign, but around 6.2, it had like a 10K. It showed you that you were at a 10K process. And I was there faster than I was in the 10K that I ran in Wilmington. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got this. This is nothing. Around
We're
mile
cooking.
8, I was like, this is something. This is a lot. But I will say, and I know this is really weird, I listened to my headphones 0% of the time on that entire run. Because and I was going to. I had my headphones on, I was ready. And now I'm really weird when I run and not weird when I work out, if this makes sense. If I'm running, if I'm on a treadmill or I'm running outside, I listen to podcasts. Because how my brain works, I think if I am stimulating my brain, it keeps it off the fact that I'm like ruining my body by running, right? So I listen to like educational historical podcasts. Like when Amy and I did the 10-mile run, I listened to a podcast about Benito Mussolini the entire time. When I'm working out, I listen to just music that's like, let me pick shit up and move it, right? There's a different concept of health there. But so I had a 3.5 hour podcast downloaded, ready to go about like the Roman Empire with Alexander the Great. I did not listen to it at all because Disney has so many things set up on the road during the marathon, all the runs, that it's so cool. Like you have character stops. There's DJs playing music. They had like multiple high school bands at points marching with you, like blaring out songs. Crazy. And then just also talking to Caitlin and Amy to keep them up, and they both told me, and I know this is weird, but I was their pace of play for the half marathon. I thought they were going to be mine, and I ended up being kind of in front of them a little bit ways the whole time, running slash walking. And they were always like, all right, let's catch up to Brandon. Let's catch up to Brandon, which they both thanked me for, and made me feel good that they were like, wow, this guy's not giving up. And then it made them not want to give up, which was great because around mile 8, Amy and I like were walking and not running then. And like I had to hold hands and give each other a long pep talk for about the next half mile of like, hey, we can do this. We're over, our limit, because it's hard. Like as much as we trained in Wilmington for it, that Florida humidity throws a whole nother breathing aspect into the running that we didn't really think about when we were there. But it was cool. Got a cool medal. I have it. Hold on. Got a cool medal. The half marathon is always sponsored by Donald and Daisy Duck. So pretty cool. It says Disney Half Marathon, and they're on springs, so they move.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
sick,
right.
actually.
And then the a Disney, I guess, quote unquote tradition is the day, a couple days or so after you're done, you wear your medal into the parks. You don't really get any cool perks for doing that, but a lot of the cast members are like, "Oh, congratulations!" It makes you feel fucking great, honestly. And then we did a character meet and greet, and then so I got it signed by Donald and Daisy Duck when we met Donald and Daisy. So like, it was pretty cool,
That's
man.
awesome.
It was pretty cool. It was tough, hardest thing I ever could do. But like I said in my Instagram post, if I can do it, anybody out there can do one if you put your mind to it. And it was really hard, and I did not hurt like I thought I was going to. The only thing that really hurt were my ankles, which is weird because when I did the 10K, my entire body hurt. And I know I'm holding that to, I still trained for the half marathon. So, of course, my body was getting more acclimated. And I really only think the reason that my ankles hurt because we were running on a lot of exit ramps that are like diagonal and curving. So, like, you're literally like your ankle and your ankle and your foot is fighting your shoe. And so I really
Yeah.
think that's the only reason that my ankles hurt. Like, if we would have ran on more flat the whole time, I don't even think my ankles would have hurt. But it was tough, but I did it. I'll never do another one that I will do more. I want to do some more 10Ks first, but I probably would never do a half marathon that's not Disney ran, because just the amount of like support you get throughout the whole race is crazy. And that
Oh,
is,
that's awesome.
oh, dude, it was great. And that's the whole race weekend. You want me to talk to you about some crazy people? Have I told you about the crazy Disney runners?
No, so
Oh,
this is so for everyone listening, this is my first like time talking to Brandon about it because I just said, look, like I'm glad you did it. That's awesome, great job. And then I said, don't tell me anything because we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
yeah,
So this
that's
is the
true.
first I'm hearing
So
about
I
like
haven't told
any
Rick
of
about
it.
it. So you're getting really, every time on Slam Swiss Fact, you get pure Brandon and Rick. But Rick and Brandon usually tell each other the story beforehand. Rick, this is pure Brendan and Rick. Rick does not know this story. See how
Yeah,
cold that still
genuine
is?
reaction.
That's awesome, dude.
Good pour.
Thanks,
Good pour
thanks,
out of a
Dan.
freaking tumbler.
um, so in January, there's different runs. I think there's like 4 a year that Disney do. January is the only one that has a full marathon, so it's the busiest weekend, right?
Mhm.
So before I get into that, I want to say when we were at mile marker 1, there was a Group A guy on mile 11 finishing, and we cheered him on while he was almost done with his half marathon. He ran it in like an hour and 20 minutes, and it took us an hour to get started. And so, like, a little bit past mile 1, like, we saw him on like mile 11. It was disgusting. Um,
What a freak.
yeah,
Good for
dude.
him.
Well, dude, the guy that finished the half marathon in Wilmington finished a half marathon in 59 minutes. He was off the world record pace by 4 minutes. Yeah. Anyway, so so you have the 5, the 10, the half, and the full, right? 5K is Pluto themed, and this is it every time. 5K is Pluto, 10K is Chippendale, half is Donald and Daisy, full is Mickey and Minnie. But I saw some people with a little the lanyard with your not the lanyard, the bib with your number, right?
Mhm.
Mine had Donald and Daisy on it. It said half marathon. Saw some people with a Goofy on there. It was green and orange. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I go and ask somebody. Those dumbasses run the half and the full in back-to-back days. So they get a half marathon medal, a full marathon medal, and then another medal with Goofy on it, and it's called the Goofy Challenge. So they ran, 37.3 miles or 39.3 miles in 2 days. And then there's the Dopey Challenge, because you have to be that stupid to do this. 4 days, 5, 10, half, full. You get all those medals, and then you get a Dopey Challenge medal.
That is ridiculous, but hear me out. If you're running the marathon and then you're going to run the marathon and the half marathon, that first day of a 5K is probably literally just a warm up.
Yeah, why not? Well, okay.
Like,
But I'm saying, like, and I am fairly athletic. I'm not the most in shape person, but I am athletic. There were people like as big as me doing it, and I'm like, bro, you're fucking crazy,
they're
because
embracing the suck.
you have to do a 16-minute or under mile the entire time, or you're kicked out of the race. Which in an instance is just a fast paced walk, but still to do that for 40 something or 39 miles on those 2 days is crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people did the
Yeah.
Dopey
It doesn't
Challenge.
doesn't sound impressive till you're talking about mile 24 on the fourth day of running.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you're on mile 24 on the fourth day of running, and you still got another like 20 miles to go, because you're running over 50 miles, or you're running like 49 miles or something. 39 plus another 6, 7, 8. So you're running like 47 miles in 4 days. You're running 12 miles a day. But
Hey, David Goggins, we get it.
on one of those,
y'all just simmer down over
but
there.
on one of those days, you're doing 26 of them. Dude, next day we go to Animal Kingdom in the morning. It's the full marathon day. Full marathon, you run through all 4 parks. They did Animal Kingdom third. So there were parts of the park that you had to walk on the sidewalk because runners were still running through. We go to ride the Everest ride, whatever it's called, Expedition Everest. Just a little roller coaster with on Mount Everest. And there are literally people, this is a perk of running. You can stop and get on a ride and they throw you in the lightning lane and throw you on the ride. There are people literally doing the full marathon, stopping, getting on the ride, riding it, getting off, and continue running.
That's sick.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I didn't have time to do that. I was trying to like not let the balloon lady catch me. Like but I will
Those
say,
damn balloon ladies.
dude, they're threatening. You don't think about it until you see them, and then you're like, fuck. Now, we didn't see them, which is good, but we saw them at the beginning, like when they were prepping to get ready, and I was like, there those bitches are. I was like, I see a balloon, I'm just popping it, and I'm going to keep walking. But, I mean, it was cool. It was crazy. Fun, coolest thing about it, you can look at my time on Run Disney, and it tells you, like, my actual time, right? I ran in, like, 15:30 mile or whatever, finished in like 3 hours 20 minutes, which was like I hit all the goals that I planned to do. Amy's thing malfunctioned. So it looks like Amy started the race at 5 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. So it looks like Amy ran the half marathon an hour and 20 minutes slower than I did.
Oh,
And like
that's
I know
hilarious.
she did it. She was within 20 feet of me the entire race. I will say though, if we have children, those stats are being pulled up to our children to let them know that their dad is an hour better than their mom when it comes to running.
I can't wait till next year when she secretly trains more to just fucking pass you and leave you in the dust.
There will be no next year Disney
Well,
thing.
don't lie. You're gonna get roped into it.
I know. But anyway, yeah, half marathon was hard. Rest of Disney trip, great. Rode a bunch of rides. Amy built a lightsaber like I did 2 years ago. So now we have two in the household. I built this little guy. His name is R2B18, which is my initial and my favorite number. He moves, but I don't want to turn him on because he scared me before the podcast because I thought I turned him back off and he beeped. And it scared me.
Brandon almost jumped out of his seat, y'all.
Dude,
Like
it was terrifying. So I have noise canceling headphones on. So the only way that I can hear sound is if it came through the microphone. So I'm like looking around trying to figure out what the fuck just made like a noise in my head. And it didn't sound like the little beep beep that this guy does. But it was, I guess. And
You guess, you hope.
if it's not, my house is haunted. Which is honestly just as fucking bad. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. No more trips for me. I have a trip coming up in August, but we'll talk about that.
Where are
when
we
get
going?
there. Scotland.
Oh, we're going to Scotland?
Yes, by we're
Did you
me and my
Did
wife.
you get my itinerary?
My itinerary is to drink for 5 days and then go to an Oasis concert. I don't know what Amy's is, so my itinerary is definitely going to change.
We're just going to transfer her ticket to me.
Yeah.
I could pass as an Amy.
Sure. We could also just transfer the ticket into your name. But that's
Oh,
what we've been
good.
up.
I'm glad you suggested that. I'll let
Yes.
Amy know.
That's what we've been up to. Rick gets to go on a cool cruise with his parents and wife for his birthday / Christmas present, and I went to Disney, and after that we'll be poor forever, guys.
Yeah.
So,
That's pretty accurate.
so now we're moving to the top 5.
Ooh.
Top 5 score. I'm 16 out of 20. Rick is 9 out of 15. Dalton wanted to count his score last time for Rick. Would have been pretty
How'd
good.
you do?
He got 4 out of 5.
All right, I'm down. We'll count it.
I said no. But I said no pre the game. So it's not like I said no after he got 4 or 5. Dalton guessed Top 5 most U.S. consumed Christmas candies. Yep. Got the hardest one, in my opinion, on the first guess,
Yeah.
which were not candy canes. They were miniature candy canes. And he literally guessed miniature candy canes. So shout out to Dalton for that.
He knows no one has time to eat the whole thing, so we just go for the
Exactly.
mini.
Exactly. So Rick's top 5, very easy in my opinion.
Everyone get ready for me to bomb.
Rick, if Rick bombs this, I'm not giving him hints like I did on that one to where he ended up getting 4 or 5.
That was hard.
That was the winningest quarterbacks in college. It's pretty easy if you're a fan, which Rick claims to be since his team just won a national champ, but he didn't know those.
Easy when half of the quarterbacks are no names.
4 of the 5 of them are great. You knew of them
Arguable.
in college. They were some of the best college quarterbacks ever. All right, so Rick's guessing number 2 through 6 of this top 5 because number 1 is a no-brainer and it doesn't count.
That's not how this works.
It's how it works right now.
Wow.
I will tell you the thing, and you'll understand why number 1's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Is the top since we are in the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, almost done.
Yeah, almost next weekend. Rick is going to guess the NFL playoff passing leaders of all time.
Oh.
You cannot guess number 1 because it's blatantly fucking easy and a layup, and I'm not giving it to you because it's Tom.
I should get it because it's Tom Brady.
No,
I said it first.
I already said you're guessing 2 through 6, so it doesn't matter. Tom Brady has 6,000 more yards than the next person on this list. Tom Brady had an NFL career in the playoffs. He does not count in this list. So that is the freebie guess that you don't get counted towards you.
This is rigged.
And this is present as of last week. So if there are any current players, their stats are updated. All of these people have played within the last 60 years.
60.
Yeah, sure. Since the Super Bowl era. Because it's the NFL playoff passings for Super Bowl era. Because they didn't pass the ball back then anyways. The more I ask you sports questions, the more I doubt that you're a ball fan.
Wow. That's rude.
This is just pretty fucking easy. I'd get it with probably 1 strike.
Okay. We're going to go Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, great guess. He's number 2 all time.
Okay. I feel like that should also be a safe guess.
He's number 2 all time with 7,339 passing yards in the playoffs. Fun fact, Tom Brady ended with an even number, 13,400 passing yards.
That's pretty sick.
It's impressive. Let's quick call it. It ain't that difficult. Look at who's great.
Give me Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben is number 3 on the list. So you've gotten number 2 and number 3. We're guessing 2 through 6. Great guess. 5,972 yards for Big Ben with the Steelers. Big Ben's literally the sole reason that the Colts didn't go to a 3rd Super Bowl in the Peyton Manning era. Okay. Shoelace tackle of a very easy pick 6.
The only thing that's taken me an extra layer to think of like playoff successful quarterbacks. I don't even feel like they threw the ball that much, but let's go with Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman is your first strike. He is not on the list.
Good.
Man won 3 Super. He didn't throw the ball a lot. His regular season numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
His regular season numbers are mediocre at best too. He had Emmitt Smith. You didn't need to throw the fucking ball.
No, I know. I was just thinking like how many Super Bowls
I
and
mean,
how
I think
many
I think Aikman won
playoff games.
3.
Yeah,
So
and that sounds right.
yeah,
And I feel like just playing that many games in the playoffs, you
yeah,
should be up there.
I agree. Either way, Aikman is
Okay,
your first strike.
good.
He
True
would not have
Dallas.
been the guest that would have caused my strike.
Um,
I don't know if that hint helps or hurts you at all, but probably gives you zero information.
yeah, kind of zero. Yeah, it's kind of where I. Uh, this is little riskier, but it shouldn't be. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is not on the list.
Really?
You got to think he only did well like 1.5 seasons in the playoffs.
I disagree. And he also was just such a gunslinger that I mean he has multiple 5,000 yard seasons. I just
Correct.
figured that
Not in
was.
the playoffs though.
I get that, but
It's a good guess. Still not who I would have guessed as my strike on this list.
now I'm getting nervous though.
You should be very nervous because these other 3 are very easy.
Who else was just in the playoffs consistently?
I mean, a lot of people.
Not really. Not individual quarterbacks.
Yeah. Can't wait for the comments with this. I love seeing the comments about Rick being horrible with guesses on sports knowledge.
It's
People,
true.
some people ragged you on the all-time quarterback college games.
Dude, look, I'm a fan of my sports teams, and I try to be kind of informed, but also you don't know what it's like to be put on the spot like this. If you think you can do better, be a guest on the show.
Yeah, holler at us. We'll do top fives for a fucking hour and watch you sweat.
Patrick Mahomes.
Are you sure you would like to go with Patrick Mahomes?
Oh God.
I'm just
I'm trying to
asking.
think.
Final
He's
answer?
been to he's been to the postseason
Every year since
for
he's
like
became starting quarterback, which is six
which is
years,
either
7 years now.
7 years, yeah. And
This is his 7th year.
won 2 Super Bowls. So I'm trying to think quarterbacks individually that have gone to the postseason 7 years in a row, and he's gone deep, won 2 of them. Yeah, I think I
I
gotta go
can
Patrick
I
Mahomes
can
again.
name at least 4 quarterbacks that have probably gone to as many consistently.
He also throws the ball.
They do throw the ball a
Hang on,
lot.
let me back burner it. Let me back burner that. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket for a second. Um,
I mean, Mahomes is a great guess if you want to guess that.
shut up. You got me all.
I'm not giving you any hints on if Mahomes is on this list or not.
I just know he should be, and so I'm like, now that's messing me up.
He may very well be.
Like
But
Phil
you're down to
Rivers
your
always
last
shows.
strike.
I know that's what sucks, and I feel like those were both valid guesses. Troy's a stretch, but
Troy
I
Aikman
shouldn't
is
have
a
wasted.
very bad guess.
I don't think so.
There are at
'Cause-
least. I'll tell you after you're done when you miss your third one.
yeah. Um, Joe Montana.
Joe
Don't know why
Montana.
don't know why that didn't come to me sooner.
There you go. I was about
I
to
was just
say,
thinking
like,
way more present, but then I realized Jerry Rice's receiving records are
Joe
insane. So,
Montana is number 6 on the list.
oh holy,
5,772 yards.
I feel like they counted wrong. But he's number 6.
Yes. So you have
Peyton and Ben
guessed
were
two,
2 and 3.
2, 3, and 6. You need 4 and 5.
Okay, well, here goes. Here probably goes my third strike, but Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, at one time, the NFL's all-time leading passer. That's a fucking great guess, Rick. If we were guessing regular season guesses.
Hi, dude.
Um, so
Yay or nay, man? Am I eliminated or what?
you are eliminated.
Damn it. Tell me if
For
Patrick
for
Mahomes is on this list so I can
for
choke
the
you through
for
the
the
fucking microphone.
playoffs, Dan Marino threw 4,510 yards. I specifically wrote Marino down because I thought you were going to guess him because he was going to be my guess of that. But you have to think he never won a Super Bowl, so he went a lot of one and dones, two and done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't play those 4 games. And one time he went 2-1 and passed for 1,000 yards in 3 games. Anyway,
A great stretch.
Patrick Mahomes, 5,557 yards as of last weekend,
Okay, so no, he would have
is
been
number
expected.
7 on the list.
Yeah.
So I tried to give you a little bit of, are you sure you want to guess Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
May very well. If he throws 220 yards in the Super Bowl, he becomes the 6th all-time leading person. He can actually throw for like 217. Number 4, don't know how you guessed it. Consistent Mr. Man of the North over here for like 13 fucking years. Aaron Rodgers made it to like the NFC Championship game like 4 years in a row. He's number
4
4.
years. Oh. And he won one Super Bowl as much as
Yeah,
you're talking crap
they
about everyone else.
they Peyton only won one super, or Peyton won 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other 2 people on this list only won one Super Bowl apiece. They just made the playoffs consistently forever.
Yeah, but also, like Green Bay ran the ball a good amount. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, super talented quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Exactly.
arguing that he shouldn't be on the list.
And then so he did 58.94. So he was number 4. Number 5. Somebody else I feel like you should have guessed. Aaron Rodgers was going to be the tough guess for me out of these 5. The other person you should have guessed, and I thought you were, I definitely thought you were going to say him when you started going, who's a fucking gunslinger? Fucking Brett Favre. The man that is in like the all-time of every single NFL record ever is number 5 on this list.
I just honestly, yeah, you could give me a redo, and I don't think I'd have put Favre on the list.
Dude, you have to.
I mean, not really. He's 5, and he's barely ahead of Montana, which I'm shocked that he's ahead of Montana.
I'm not. They ran the ball a lot.
Excuse me, look at Jerry's receiving records and tell me they ran the ball a lot.
They did run the ball a lot.
Please, everyone, go look up how many receiving yards Jerry Rice have, and see how no wide receiver will probably ever catch him. And tell Brandon that they ran the ball a lot.
So Brett Favre played 24 career postseason games.
Okay.
Pretty good amount. Played more than 2 or more every season except 1. And he also made the 1991 postseason with Atlanta, but did not play. So technically, he played 14, or was in 14 postseasons. Aaron Rodgers, how many do you think he played in postseason seasons?
Seasons or games?
Games, I'm sorry. He's played in 22.
I was about to say, I think it's less. I was going to guess like 20 or 21. And I'll definitely put it out there. Aaron Rodgers, much better passer than Favre.
I mean, Favre also leads the NFL in interceptions of all time, so yes, I agree.
Not if Jameis has anything to say about it.
Peyton Manning played in 27.
And you talk about a pure passer. I mean, yeah, he had running backs. Don't get me wrong. He had solid running backs, but just amazing passer.
Who?
Peyton Manning. 15 yards at a time, 10 yards at a time, 8-yard slants. Like, it's just and chalked up those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. We had good running backs too. First 3 seasons of Peyton Manning's career, we had Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had good running backs, but
Yeah, but I mean, most of the during Manning's big time, he had Edgerrin James, who was a great running back for us. But I mean, when we're also throwing the ball to Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, like you're
exactly.
fine. Big Ben played in 23, so they're all right around the low 20 area. I'm anxious to see Montana. Montana might have played in 30 because he won what 4 Super Bowls. Montana won 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, that's right. Montana only played in 23. So,
Did they not have the wild card game or something? I don't know. I don't remember when that was implemented.
um, in 1981, they won a Super Bowl the first year that he made the playoffs at 13-3. They went 3-0. They went 3-0 every year that they won the Super Bowl. So they never played in the he never won from the wild card round.
Do you know when the wild card round was implemented?
78.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
But you have to think until what 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 teams got buys and not just one.
yeah.
So Montana, every year that he won the Super Bowl, he always had a bye. He was either the number 1 or the number 2 seed at San Francisco.
I think so. Well, tough stint for me, but I also call shenanigans on Brandon for taking away Tom Brady.
If you would have, okay, I'll give you Tom Brady, and you still get 3 of 5.
No, not necessarily. Not
Okay,
necessarily.
yeah, you're right.
Could have changed my pick.
You would have gotten 2 of 5 because if you still would have guessed Joe Montana, he would have been 6, and it would have fucked you.
You don't know.
I
You
do.
don't know. Could have changed my picks up.
Either way, Rick's
You,
struggling.
you wanted to discombobulate me, put me off balance. I see how it
It's
is.
a given. It's bullshit if that's an
Just
answer.
remember this when I take away
If
your
you
number one next week.
That's fine if it's blatantly obvious, like a Tom Brady stat. Like if you give me NFL wide receiver playoffs, clearly, like it's probably Jerry Rice. I would assume it's Jerry Rice. I hope to God it's Jerry Rice. If it's not, then I would be totally fucked. I'm looking. It's Jerry Rice. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say, it has to be.
I
He
mean,
owns every wide receiver stat that matters.
I would not have guessed number 6. I guess you could probably do this in a week and I'd forget these people, but
Nice try.
it's like who is Cliff Branch? Played for the Raiders from 1972 to 85. 6 all time. And then so you think who's number 2?
Number 2, postseason receiving yards.
Yeah. It's a pretty easy guess in my opinion.
Randy Moss?
Nope. Randy Moss didn't make the playoffs a lot. Remember, he played for Minnesota for a long time.
I know. That's why I was like second guessing even as I was saying it, but Randy still.
It's Travis Kelce.
Oh,
Because they bring it up all the time.
yeah.
And then you have 2 Patriots and then a Cowboy. So, Julian Edelman, Gronk, Michael Irvin. Fun fact of the day, and this actually throws me for a loop. Reggie Wayne has more all-time yards in the playoffs than Marvin Harrison, even though Marvin Harrison is the better wide receiver.
Yeah, but I'm not that shocked by that. Reggie Wayne played a long time.
So did Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Marvin
I like
Harrison
Reggie.
played 96 to 08, which granted, so 2 of those years were pre-Peyton Manning. Reggie Wayne played his entire career with the Colts, 1 to 14. So they played.
But
They
one
played
more
the.
season,
Yeah, they played this. They Wayne played one more season. Had
and he had a better quarterback throwing to him.
300 more yards. Marvin
Yep.
Harrison's only 20 is number 26, while Reggie Wayne is number 7.
Wow, that's a crazy window of opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of yards.
Say 300 difference.
Mm-hmm.
That, for 19 places on a list, that doesn't seem like that's too many yards.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've already been talking about sports, let's talk about current sports instead of
Yeah.
record.
Go for it, Rick.
The Eagles are in the Super Bowl again. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say first, but okay.
Oh, that's well. This is the. Yeah, I'm getting there. Ohio State are your college national champions. Thank you very much. So far, this is a great year for Rick Sports.
Until the refs fuck up the Super Bowl and let Patrick Mahomes win.
Yeah, we're gonna really hope it doesn't happen,
This is
but
I'm gonna throw it out there. This is gonna be the least watched Super Bowl in the last 20 years.
20.
Yep.
Ah,
Nobody wants either of these teams to play or win.
excuse me, Eagle
B-
Nation, baby.
besides
We're
the
here.
state of Philadelphia and the state of
The
Missouri.
state of Philadelphia.
Yep.
EGLSES.
That's a great meme.
It is amazing. I love that the
Yep.
mayor of the city sucks that bad.
Yep.
But
Ohio State won. Not surprising because they played Notre Dame and literally
okay,
was.
but don't take too much away from Notre Dame because they did
I
have a
will.
fantastic season,
That's good.
and their coach is a legit coach. I have to give.
I agree. He's a great coach. They're dead to me until they play in a conference. I think it's bullshit that they can even make the playoffs without a conference, like I talked about before. So
Yep, I super agree.
I think it's super undeserving that they get a spot in the college playoffs and they're just ranked based off of performance and everybody else is ranked off of conference rank and stuff like that. So fuck
I
them.
super agree. I super agree. I think it's
If they
real
ever
bullshit
if they
because
ever,
they
yeah.
also pocket the $20 million that would have been split up in a conference, like Ohio State's
Yep.
earned the Big Ten $20 million, but it gets divvied up along the whole Big Ten, which is a crazy amount of schools now. So it's a little bit, and comparatively to Notre Dame getting all 20 million, that's insane.
Yeah. I think it's absolute bullshit, but congrats to Ohio State. I texted him last week. I was like, Rick, you're having a pretty good year so far. So we'll see. Hopefully the Eagles win. I want to see the Eagles win. I do not want to see the Chiefs win.
And I think a lot of people actually are coming along to the Eagles because of all the ref dispute and everything like that over the Chiefs, but also because Saquon Barkley needs to be MVP this year. Dude is insane, and thank God the Giants were stupid enough to let him go.
Yeah.
The man is seeing real success for the first time in his career. He has definitely been just absolutely vital to our year and is putting up a crazy amount of yards. I mean, the dude's just as explosive. I know there was questions about his injuries. I questioned his injuries when we first signed him. The man is explosive. He is talented, and he is clicking so
I
well
agree.
with the rest of our
I
offense.
don't think he'll get MVP though.
No, he won't because it's a quarterback award now, but
Yeah,
he should.
he won't get it. He would have only gotten it if he would have broke Eric Dickerson's record, which he didn't do. So
Which they sat him out.
yeah.
That's not his fault.
Well, he played.
What?
He played his last game.
Okay, played is a strong way to put it. Hang on, let's go look at it real fast. I just disagree.
If they sat him, it was because in week 16 he didn't run as many yards as they wanted him to, or he should have.
Let's go. He did not play against the Giants in the last game of the regular season.
Mm. It's because he ran.
And
It's because he ran for 167 against Dallas, and he needed to run like 230 to be on track.
oh no, he only ran for 167
Well, I
yards.
mean that's still a shit ton, but I mean you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, but I it's still. I wish they'd have let him go for it. There's a lot of like speculation there. He wanted to play, and they told him he needed a rest, and
well, I
I don't
mean
really like they took that decision out of his hands
I don't know if he wanted to play. He never came out and said it. He also wanted to
because he's a
sit when
good team guy.
he went for 255 versus the Rams. That's public knowledge that he said no, let me sit and give these young guys a chance. And he didn't want to beat his personal record, and because he only had like 13 yards to go. So, but either way, I hope the Eagles win. I hope the Chiefs don't do it. I've seen memes that the best thing that could happen to the Super Bowl. A lot of people are posting the Dark Knight Rises Bane clip to what he does to Heinz Field, and then it shows a little GIF of Taylor Swift and Jackson Mahomes in the booth that blows up, which I really hope none of that ever happens, but it's still kind of funny to see. But either way, I sent Rick a reel earlier today that was talking about the city of Philadelphia, whether the Eagles win or lose the Super Bowl, and it was just a city just going in full utter destruction either way. Because it's going to happen.
Pretty valid.
The
Pretty
city of
valid.
Philadelphia is going to get fucked either way.
In a great way.
Yes.
And then the last thing I have for sports is actually about NBA. I know, shocker. But we have All Star Weekend coming up, and the All Star snubs for the All Star game are really what is just surprising. And so, a few people that I think really should have been a part of the All Star game and really just deserved it. Uh, Domantas Sabonis won't be in the All Star game, despite averaging over 20 points a game and over 14 rebounds a game. So, averaging a double double with 20 points. And he has like, it's either 6 or 7 assists a game. And he didn't make it, apparently. Don't know what you got to do. Trae Young, while averaging a double double with assists, leading the league, and also over 20 points a game, didn't make it. Okay, wild. LaMelo Ball, who is averaging over 20 points a game,
Well, he just got
and
hurt.
but he also led the league led the Eastern Conference in fan voting. And when they factored in the media votes and the player poll, didn't make the team. First time ever happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then Devin Booker, also averaging over 20 points a game, didn't get it.
Yeah. I don't
So
follow.
there's just some wild snubs.
That is. I don't follow the NBA much, but I did watch. I've watched one game this year. It was the game that LaMelo just got hurt against the Lakers. So, only three things that I have. Super Bowl logo for next year. We're going off the Super Bowl logo color conspiracy now.
Oh,
All blue means a couple things. Dallas fans, I'm sorry to say, your blue is not involved in this logo, so you'll go another year without making it. A lot of people are on the conspiracy. Rick, I'm sure you've seen the conspiracy of the past like 7 Super Bowls. The 2 teams that have played have been the primary colors of the Super Bowl logo. The one year that before the playoffs started that the Bengals beat the Chiefs to make the Super Bowl, they actually changed the logo color to have orange in it, which is very interesting. This next Super Bowl logo is all blue. So we're either getting a Lions Chargers Super Bowl because both of those colors fit with the color scheme that they have. We could maybe see the Panthers in the Super Bowl. That's not happening, but they are a lot of experts' sleeper playoff team pick next year with how good they played at the second half of the season. I'll give them that, but not
and how weak
happening.
their conference is.
But not happening. A lot of people. I've seen a Detroit Indianapolis Super Bowl. Not happening. I'm gonna throw it out there, guys. We will disappoint you, even if we make the playoffs. Those are really the only teams I've seen. The most I've seen is Detroit versus the Chargers as the two blue teams that make it, which I would love to see. But Who knows? And then sticking on the side of football, and this is just a Peter Griffin, you know what really grinds my gears? Is seeing commercials that are going to air during the Super Bowl, pre-Super Bowl. That's been a thing for the past couple years, and I think it's stupid. Like, it's like, oh, check out this new Doritos commercial that's going to be in the Super Bowl. It's like, well, now it's not a fucking surprise. Like, I watch the Super Bowl clearly for the football, but damn, the commercials are great sometimes. And, like, you ruin it by going, oh, I've already seen this commercial. It's funny.
That's true. I don't think they should release them beforehand.
No,
Um,
no, totally agree. Will say something that has been kept quiet for all you nerds like me out there. There is the first Fantastic Four trailer is dropping during this Super Bowl. Super excited to see what Marvel's going to do with an actually good Fantastic Four movie, since they have the rights now and Sony doesn't, since Sony doesn't know how to make a superhero movie, and Marvel's
really don't.
shown that they can do a decent job at making superhero movies. So
Did you see that the exec over at Sony said it's because people's biased opinions that their movies don't do well?
yeah, they're wrong. Just go watch Madam Web, and you'll change all your opinions on how good Sony is. Sony has not made any good superhero movies since the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and I will stand by that. Now they do have this Craven the Hunter movie coming out. Looks pretty good. I mean, Madam Web did not look good at all, and guess what, guys? It wasn't good. So we'll
Most people
see.
didn't like Morbius.
Morbius was horrible. The Venom movies were like, okay, but I think Tom Hardy just held that up by the fucking skin of his teeth because it's Tom Hardy and he's a phenomenal actor.
Agreed.
So we'll see. I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. We do get to see a second trailer of the James Gunn superhero movie during the Super Bowl as well. Super excited for that as well because it's James Gunn. One, did a great job with Guardians and Peacemaker. And two, it's not a Superman origin movie. It's already an established Clark Kent as Superman. So excited to see what he does with that. First trailer looked phenomenal. Classic Superman, as in like he's not a, oh my gosh, Superman's this alien on this planet. It's like Superman's a fucking Eagle Scout with superpowers type of helping people, which I'm super excited. That's the Superman we need to make sure DC does well.
Agreed.
And then that's my rant on Super Bowl commercials. Don't air them before the Super Bowl. It's bullshit. And then lastly for me is that no matter how horrible the Man United are playing in the Premier League, which they're like 12th or 13th right now, which is asinine, we went undefeated in the Europa League and made it to the round of 16 and potentially can win and still play Champions League football next year if we win the Europa League. That is my backdoor way into this $100 bet that I made with my buddy that we would be playing European football next year. I don't want to lose $100, so if we win the Europa League, United can still play European football next year, and Joe will owe me $100. He tried to opt me out in November at cornhole. He was like, if you just pay me $50 right now, we can call it even. But what kind of sports fan would I be if I did that to not have hope into my team? I said, no, we will finish top 6. We will play European football. That dream looks fucking dead. But damn it, we went 5-3-0 in the Europa League and finished third. So we are in the round of 16 automatically. If we win it, we can play European football next year. So here we go, baby. But
what a backdoor route to this bet.
Dude, right? Like, I texted him. I was like, this still counts. And he was like, I know. so we'll see. But, Rick, that is all that I have.
That's all I got. I'm all out of Peroni.
Oh, sweet. I'm not out of beer because I feel way too much, but that's fine. So, everyone, thank you for watching. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Some people would even say. Don't forget to follow us at Slam Swiss Fact on everything. And by everything, I mean Instagram and TikTok, because not posting on Twitter anymore because Twitter's annoying. If you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, want to be on the podcast, email us at slamswissfact.com. And subtle hint here / plug, my life clears up after this week. So there might be some Brando streaming going on again. I talked to my buddy about that. So follow that on Twitch, and you might find me playing some video games that involve some role playing that me and my one buddy talked about, which will be very interesting, that Rick has no idea about, and that's why he looks confused right now.
No idea.
And other video games as well. But other than that, everybody have a great day, and we will see you next time for episode 10. Bye-bye.